Hello and welcome. This is Joshua from Iamoneofthepeople B.O.R. Just doing a video today to let everybody know I'm sorry I was out for a little over a week. I've been sick. Just getting my voice back. As you could hear, it's still a little raspy. So I'm using a new camera and a new stand today to hopefully you'll be able to hear me a lot better. Um, I'm just reaching out today. My channel's starting to grow. And I'm really dedicating myself to try to help as much as I possibly can to get Trump voted into office this November. So I got 120 people signed with me to vote this November for Trump. And I'm going this weekend with my son-in-law to pass out flyers and go door to door and see if we could get more people registered. I contacted the um, voting headquarters here in Missouri, where I'm at, and talked to them in the polling place here and asked them where do they see the most problems of reaching voters, and they told me it's mostly in the poor rural communities that they have the slowest and lowest turnouts from. And so that's who I'm going to be going out and trying to reach more people at and see if I could get more people to agree to vote. Um, so I'm just giving an update where I'm at right now. I'm sorry I've only been putting out these little shorts lately. Again, I had been sick for about a week and a half now. Lost my voice. Um, for 2 days I couldn't even whisper hardly to get anything out. My wife couldn't hear me. Um, Yesterday it got a little better, and so today is the first time that I'm actually able to talk in a reasonable manner. And so I thought I would jump on, let everybody know I am going to be doing my first live today, and this weekend when we go to start registering people, I will be doing a live then while I'm talking to people, or maybe I'll do a pre-record and do it as a premiere for Monday. But I'm hoping that I could get quite a few conversations in on what people are seeing out there, what they feel is happening. Um, this is, again, my first time doing this. And so I am pretty excited. I've been out quite a bit talking to people, and I've talked to people across America on different channels and different platforms. And what I see is there's this attack going on in America against spirituality. People who believe in Christianity or any faith-based um, lifestyle or family-oriented lifestyle. And more people are telling me that they feel like they're the ones that are being attacked and sought after in a negative way. And so I've been reaching out to people trying to figure out what is really going on. I'm not some big Bible thumping Christian. I'm not. I'm not one of those doomsday, the world's coming to an end type of person. Um, I, I have expressed on some of my videos, I believe Christ made it pretty simple for us that, you know, we're here to accept Him as Lord and Savior, to love God above all else and to love each other as we love ourselves. And I don't think people realize how far stretched loving each other as you love yourself really is. Because if you really thought about how much you love yourself and what you're willing to do for yourself, and you extended that to everyone else that you are around, the amount of change in people would grow exponentially. I mean, I'm a firm believer in love. I really am. And I know a lot of people think that that's a weak thing for a man to say, which you are so far from right. I mean, people don't realize how hard it is to actually love someone unconditionally. Not to put your expectations, not to want you from them. And everybody's different. Everybody grows in a different way. Everybody loves in a different way. But love is universal, and it is. And I'm a firm believer that it's the strongest thing that humankind will ever experience. Um, with that said, I'm jumping on today to do this video to let everybody know. I apologize for only putting out shorts lately. I will be doing a live tonight for the first time. I hope it goes well. I hope to start doing more this weekend. I'm hoping that people will respond back to me today and let me know, would they like to see me do the door-to-door live where I'm talking to people, or would they rather me put it all together in one video and edit it and clean it up, or how do they, excuse me, prefer me to do this? I want to go out and do it live. I want people to be able to see the live reactions of people when I knock on their doors and I talk to them about voting for Trump. Uh, you got to remember, I've already done it quite a few times already, and a lot of these people resent you just for coming to their door. And they don't want to have nothing to do with being informed about what's going on in politics or being asked to go out and vote. I and people think that it's not as many people out there as there is, but I talk to quite often a lot of people who have never voted in their life, my age, and they were in the same type of belief that I was in, that it really didn't matter. We're poor. The rich are the ones who make the difference. The electoral college overrides our votes, and it's just a show thing. Our votes really don't matter. And that was my belief for the longest time, is that because I was poor and I didn't have no voice out there in the public domain, that it really didn't matter what I voted. So why do it? And I want to see if there's a difference. So I'm talking to people as much as I can to go out and vote. I want to see if there really is a difference if we do vote or don't vote. Um, I can't I can't sit by no more and accept that that's the truth. Our country was founded for the people by the people, and it's not what it is today. And I honestly believe that we need to get back to that, because we're giving up too much of our rights and our freedoms to allow someone else to do the job for you, to the point that they're now in the home telling you how to raise your children and what's right for your children, and that they're not your children, they're our children, and we have the right to say what's right for them. And I really thought about that. I've been praying a lot about it, and it just scares me. It scares me to think that, what's the next step of that? Is the next step that we have no rights to our children, that we birth them, and then the government takes over and raises them how they choose to? Uh, I don't see any good in that. I don't. Now, my last video, I was talking about um, Project 2025. When someone in the comments reached out to me and told me that I really need to read that and understand what they're trying to do. So I'm letting you know. I read it. I read all 920 pages of it. And I want you to know I agree with most of it. There's some parts in there I don't agree with at all, and I don't think it's going to come to fruition, but I understand why they came up with it. I do. It's because the conservatives tried to be accommodating. This is what I see. They tried to be accommodating to more and more people's beliefs, and try to understand their views of things, and not be so hard struck on their own views. And by doing so, the left or Democrat or whatever you want to label yourself as took it to the extreme, and they went way too far with it. So now these people feel like they have to come back and take control over the situation, which I don't think it's going to happen. It's not what these people are promoting out here, saying that it's Trump's agenda. Trump never said that. So anyway, he's talking about um, Title 47. So if you guys are wanting to know what Trump's agenda is, look into that. Do I disagree with Project 2025 in some points? But for the most part, like I said, I understand it. I understand why they felt led to draw this up. And it's your fault, Democrats. You guys don't know how to settle and say, okay, we're in a comfortable spot, and this is good. Let's see how this plays out. No, you want to keep pushing the boundaries and pushing the boundaries. To me, it's like a 3-year-old child who's testing their boundaries with their parents to find out what they can and cannot get away with. And I didn't think about that until recently, because so many people were saying, you know, when are the parents going to come back and take control over what's going on? And I understand why they're saying that now, because it is. It's like a child refusing to live by the boundaries that are set before them. So they're testing them. And that's what I believe has produced this transgenderism, is that children, young people, decided they didn't want parents or adults telling them what they can and cannot be anymore. And then this idea was floated around that you could become whatever you want to become. That it's a mindset and not biology. And it took hold really quickly. One, these devices which I'm using to reach out to you with has taken a hold of our country, especially our youth, to a point that I really think that it's causing serious damage to them. Their ability to socialize, their ability to adapt to change and surrounding around them. And in that, they get depressed and resentments build, and this new counterculture just reinforces their abilities to go wild with how they act and what they believe, because there's no real repercussions from it, that you could hide behind this and that. And I'm just like, how far are we going to allow this to play out? um, I'm at fault too. um, I realized it really quickly, though. Luckily I did. When my children were growing up, I allowed them to have video games and DVD players and stuff like that, but I wasn't really into allowing them to have cell phones or tablets and stuff like that they could get on the internet without any kind of supervision whatsoever, until they got older. But I did allow them for a while, and I watched how deeply they got engrossed in this, and myself included, into these devices. And when COVID hit, you know, we were kind of cut off from everybody for a while, and this thing took a hold of me. I've never been into computers. I've never been into tech and any of that kind of stuff. And when COVID hit and I had a whole lot of time on my hands, um, it took me down YouTube and Twitter, and so many of these platforms took me down these rabbit holes that, if I didn't stop and reevaluate and have a wife that's totally against these devices at all, she really is totally against anybody having these on a regular basis. And because of that, she was able to retract me back from some of these rabbit holes that I was going down, trying to discover what's going on in America when I first started getting introduced to politics. Um, and so now that I'm able to step back and really look at things, I had gotten into this depression state and this seclusion state where I hardly wanted to talk to anybody. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was had this overwhelming feeling all the time that I just can't stand people, and it was weighing on me. It was weighing on me hard that I was feeling like this, because I started to reject my kids' companionship. I didn't want to engage with them, and my wife was pointing it out to me, and at first I was refusing to see it. But then I started looking at my children doing to me what I was doing to my wife and them. And we couldn't even have a conversation. We'd be sitting in the same house and everybody would be on their phone. 2-3 hours would go by and not a single word would be spoke to each other except about what we're viewing on our device. And I started thinking about it and I'm just like, wow. And the irony is I'm here on my device reaching out to you people to talk to you about what I see that's going on. And yes, they are a benefit, but also at what cost? That's what I'm looking at. And I'm wondering about at what cost are these things to us, to our future, to our children's future. I was in Walmart today and I had my grandson with me and we got hit 2 times by people with their shopping carts. One of them hit my grandson right in the leg, smashed his leg in between their cart and our cart because they were too busy looking in their phone and not paying attention to what's going on around them. And I was kind of upset at first, but then I just comforted my grandson and we went on and I just started watching and seeing how people were. And I I watched at least 5 different people get in their vehicle. And the first thing they did as soon as they sat down is grab their phone and check through their phone, before they started their car or anything. And a lot of them were actually on their phone while they were trying to back out of their parking space. And I was just like, wow, it is really taking a hold of people. And I was one of them. And I'm now, me and my wife and our children and our grandchildren, on Sundays, we don't use them. And we're going to start sticking to that every Sunday, that when we get up in the morning, these things are going to stay turned off and we are going to spend the day together actually talking and being around one another. And hopefully, we could start doing that more often to where it's not just one day a week, but at least we're making a start. Um, Me personally, I've had to learn to put this thing down as much as I possibly can for hours at a time and just let it sit because it will easily influence you. Um, I was so caught up into politics in these last few months, especially because I was just watching all of this that was going on, especially with Trump. And I had to make a change. So I'm sorry, this is turning out to be longer than I thought I was going to make it. Tonight, going for my first live. Um, I'm feeling better, so you'll see a lot more videos from me. I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm creating. I would love to hear feedback from all of you guys. Please push like, subscribe, comment, and share on these videos. That helps me grow. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.